Hi guys, this is John Adams, the Rehab and Documentation Guru, looking a little scruffy in the morning, sitting outside a YMCA where my two teenage sons are working out. Why am I not in there? Because I'm tired and I'm getting ready to fly out to Seattle, Washington and Portland, Oregon later today, where I'm going to be teaching my documentation bootcamp course. So I'm saving energy for that flight because that's really energy consuming. Anyway, today what I want to do is talk about a disease process and critically and clinically thinking through what we should be assessing with that particular disease. And so today I want to talk about diabetes. And with that, I'm going to bring up a little case study. So the other day I was with a patient who I was case opening. And it was kind of an odd case opening because it was pre-operative for a CABG. The patient's doctor wanted me to go in, and the diagnosis was deconditioning, not a very good diagnosis. And I assumed what he wanted was some kind of pre-operative exercise program, but the operation is just next week, so there's not going to be a lot of impact. So anyway, I didn't have a lot of data on her, but I found out during the course of interviewing her, doing the case opening, that she had diabetes. And so it immediately caused me to start asking other questions. And so whenever we get a patient with a disease, one of the things we should be thinking about is what are the clinical signs and manifestations that are going to relate to my scope of practice? What's going to impact me? So first thing, I obviously realize diabetes can cause heart disease. So I realized that with diabetes, not only does she have heart disease, but she probably has peripheral vascular disease. And so my assessment included a careful look at especially her feet. And I did find some changes that I would expect in a diabetic. One was callus buildup. Calluses can be dangerous for diabetics. I happen to carry in my evaluation bag a Weinstein monofilament, 10 gram, which is universally recognized as protective sensation. So if you can feel it, you've got protective sensation. So I looked at that, and she did. She had that okay. What else did I look at? I looked at her balance. And I asked her, are you getting any pain? And at first she said, well, occasional pain. But then she started talking about leg pain. And it was basically distributed all the way down her legs. And I said, have you ever been told that you have peripheral neuropathy? And she said no, and so that was something I wanted to clarify with the doctor. So I did some testing related to her sensation beyond just the Weinstein monofilament, including differential balance assessment. And then, of course, I looked at cardiac parameters on her. And then I asked her about her vision, which is part of the OASIS anyway. And she said that she had some cloudiness. And I asked her if she had kind of a splotchy cloudiness, and she couldn't really tell me because that's consistent with diabetic retinopathy. But she did say she had an eye doctor that looked at the back of her eye every year, so I assume she has retinopathy. So I tried to clarify that with the doctor because we didn't have those diagnoses. So when you have a diagnosis and you want to prove that that diagnosis impacts your care, start thinking of assessments that you need to do. And in my course, of course, I talk about underlying impairment assessment. And not all the time will disease processes cause something that influences the functional areas that you're concerned about, but they should be measured and they should be analyzed by you to determine their impact. And what you'll find is when you start looking at these more and more, you'll prove more complexity than you might already be doing in your documentation. And that's going to be really important come the fall for PDPM and January PDGM, because even though we're going to a payer model that is looking more at just a main diagnosis, there is a comorbidity assessment also that's going to be utilized to determine payment. So those secondary diagnoses are important. And if we're going to put those diagnoses on our claim, we need to prove that they're relevant through our measurements. Anyway, a little brief case study on a patient with diabetes. If you have a suggestion for further videos on case scenarios, disease processes, what to look at, etc., let me know. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care and God bless.